Hi, everybody. Happy Friday to you. It is Region Weather Meteorologist Matt Wentz. I want to make this as quick as possible because it's Friday. I don't think we do lives very often on Friday. I can't think of the last one we did because I respect your time and I respect the fact that you've got plans that you're probably in right now, or maybe you're making them for the weekend, whatever that happens to be. So, what I want to get you is the latest on the system that's moving in tonight. Is this a big deal for us locally, or is this more towards a Wisconsin problem with the snow that you're probably hearing about? So we'll talk about this system, the impacts here tonight, what you can expect for your Saturday and your upcoming weekend, which is very, very important, right? Because it's the weekend around here. Congratulations, you made it. So we'll talk about that very briefly in this special edition of Region Weather Live. And welcome in, everybody. Hi, Phoebe. Phoebe's with us tonight. Happy Friday to you, Phoebe. Susan, good evening to you. Justin's with us. Hey, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Brent, hello. Happy weekend to you. Gail, Deb's with us as well. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday night. We have made it to the weekend. Hallelujah. Some of us are not done working yet, but that's okay because we enjoy our job. So we'll get to that. Hi, Tina. Hi, Junie. Thanks for joining us. All right, so let's dive into this first and foremost. Right here on this side of the screen, you see our wonderful family of sponsors. Please pay them a visit if you need anything. Discovery Travel, Ewing Mechanical Services, Tiger Plumbing, Public Service Adjusting, Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and the St. Jude House in Northwest Indiana. They all do amazing work in the community in their trades, and they're all local, which is great. So support them if you can. I want to jump into the maps here because we're dealing with a very dynamic system across the center half of the country right now. You can see this is your infrared satellite. So whenever you're looking at reds and oranges on this one, that indicates really cold cloud tops. And when you have really cold cloud tops, it means you have some really big development in terms of thunderstorms. They're going high into the atmosphere and they're packing a punch. And that's what we're seeing tonight. Likely tornado outbreak expected. We've already seen a couple tornadoes down towards areas of Arkansas, heading into Mississippi right now. There's another tornado warning storm heading into Tennessee. The severe weather is going to stay away from us with this one. That's the good news. But you notice the trend as this low pressure back towards Missouri kind of punches into the system. You notice everything's kind of coming at us, right? These clouds are coming over us. We're already seeing some downpours in spots in the region, and it's going to be a rainy night tonight as this moves in. So this low pressure isn't really that strong yet, but it's really going to get going tonight. And as it develops tonight into tomorrow, it's going to create a huge wind field around it across all of the Great Lakes down towards Tennessee. Anytime you have a lot of wind, it's a signal of a very strong low pressure. Sometimes it can be a high and a low together, but in this case, it's a very strong low. And as this low really deepens and strengthens as it goes right over the region, that's really going to whip up the wind. So we've got some strong winds expected as well. This is another one of those systems for any migraine sufferers or anyone that deals and can feel storm systems moving in. You probably feel it tonight, and I apologize in advance because this low, as it continues to deepen, you're going to continue to feel that pressure as this thing moves in and tracks right over. So here's a low right now down towards Arkansas. As we go through time, we're bringing in rain tonight, pretty decent soaking of rain as well. Low pressure really gets going overnight tonight. This is around midnight down towards southern Illinois as it moves quickly off towards the north and the east. Again, rain moves in and it'll be heavy at times tonight. The wind, as indicated by the isobar, starts to pick up from the south and east. It's nothing too crazy overnight until we get towards daybreak tomorrow. So here we go. Speaking of daybreak, here's our low pressure. This is now tomorrow morning waking up. The heaviest rain has gone off towards the north and the east along that initial wave. We're still getting some showers around here. Low pressure center just north of Indianapolis, near the Remington area. Kokomo is going to be in the middle of this. I mean, that's where the low is going to be. When you're in the low yourself, there's not a lot of wind. You just have low pressure. Around it is where you get the wind. So our wind here in the region is going to start southeast tonight. It'll start to ramp up and turn out to the east. And then as that low passes, the wind will kind of back off a little bit tomorrow morning. We'll have rain around. Notice what develops on the back side of this. We've got heavy, wet snow as you get back into Illinois. This is going to be an Illinois issue, all right? And it's going to be a Wisconsin issue where they could see anywhere from 4 to 8 inches of heavy, wet snow. Happy late March, everybody. But for us, I think it's going to stay all rain until the end. Okay. And the end is going to be very quick, that we're not going to have a lot of impacts with it. So here we go through tomorrow morning. This is now about 6 a.m. or so. This is 7, 8, 9, 10. Notice what's happened. The low's now up in Michigan. It is now a deep low, 986 or 84 millibar lows, pretty powerful. We'll have strong wind that starts to develop later in the morning. So as we wake up tomorrow morning, we'll have some rain, and then that wind will really start to crank, and temperatures are going to start to crash as well. Any of those showers are going to change over to some wet snowflakes, probably around the, I would say 9, 10 o'clock hour. And you notice how it just kind of clips us with some leftover wet snow at the end. Could be briefly heavy. I don't think it's going to last long enough for any impacts, all right? Especially because we're coming off mild temperatures tonight. I mentioned this morning on the radio updates, maybe an inch or two. That would be worst case scenario, and that would highlight areas like Lake County, up towards the Whiting areas, you get up towards Chicago. Again, that would be if we really get some decent rates for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. I don't see that happening, of us getting 1 to 2 inches. I think we'll have a cosmetic coating, maybe up to an inch at best. And again, still favoring our northwestern part of northwest Indiana. But overall, this thing will be out of here before we know it. As we go throughout the day, we lose the snow. We also lose the wind. The wind is really going to back off by afternoon and evening, and we'll have very much improving conditions by tomorrow night. Then we deal with this other little zippy system that's going to come in here. This is Sunday morning. Another little weak short wave is what we call it. It's a little area of energy. It's not that well developed, but this will roll through here as we get into Sunday morning and midday. It could bring some rain and maybe some wet snowflakes in there. Doesn't look to be too impactful, but just something to kind of ruin Sunday around here to make sure it's not completely perfect, right? So there's that. So moral of the story, that's all I got for you. Let me show you snow real quick. Then I'll answer your questions. Here's your snowfall forecast. I totally agree with this. Numbers, I think, are coming in a little high near Rockford, but this is the latest run of the HRRR. And I would say general 4 to 8 in here in the purples. And you get outside of that, and as always this time, there's a very sharp demarcation line between where we get the snow and where we don't. And I really don't see a lot of snow for us here in the region. Again, maybe a cosmetic coating up to an inch. I don't see a lot of us getting an inch, but it'll be kind of slushy regardless after that moves through, okay? So that's the system we're dealing with. I think wind is going to be the bigger issue, with gusts likely over 40 at times. Let me show you the wind real quick on here. Okay, make sure it's paused, that way we can go through it. Here's your wind gusts. This is tonight and tomorrow morning. It's not quite here yet. And then there you go. That's when it ramps up on the backside of this. The model's saying 30 to 35 mile per hour winds. I could see some gusts near 40 coming off the lake. So it will be windy and turning colder tomorrow on the backside of that system as it moves through. Okay, so that's all I've got. Hopefully that helps you better plan for your weekend. I'm not expecting any blockbuster storm to move in here. Again, rain moves in tonight. We're going to have some wind that starts to develop tomorrow morning with leftover showers, and that wind will really rip in that cold air by afternoon tomorrow. We'll have some rain that changes over to some wet snow temporarily tomorrow morning, and then it's out of here. I think by early afternoon, this system is going to be a distant memory for us, okay? All right, so that's what we've got. Let me answer your questions. If you have questions, go ahead and put them in chat right now. And if not, we'll get you back to your Friday evening, because I know how important that is to you, okay? I'm at work, so go ahead and ask away. All right. Okay. Yeah, Kevin says, we appreciate it. We're really getting ready for spring. I am too, Kevin, hoping for warm temps soon. I don't see any huge warm-ups, Kevin. I really don't. But the good news is I don't see any cold spells either. We've got a pretty standard week next week. We'll have a lot of 40s, even some 50s around. So not a bad forecast at all. I just don't see any huge, 60, 70 degree warm spells in here. But I've got my eye out. As soon as I see one, I will let you know, even if it's 15 days out. Rhonda, thank you. Deb, you're welcome as well. Teresa asks a good question. She says, how much rain? Teresa, not a ton of rain with this. Let me get you here we go. Let's go to this one. You can see amounts here in the region, anywhere from about a half an inch to 3/4 of an inch. Not expecting any flooding from this, Teresa. I think the majority of the rain will be with that initial batch that comes in tonight, and it'll be kind of showery tomorrow. Okay. Jeff says no more snow. Jill, the wind starts to become gusty once that cold air starts to wrap in. So 8, 9, 10 o'clock is when that wind will start to pick up. I'll show you here on the map form. So here you go. This is midnight, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll get some initial wind with the rain tonight. But I think the bigger wind is tomorrow. There's 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so late morning is actually, because we'll have that low over us. Once the low heads out of here, we get that northwest wind. So actually late morning, midday, and afternoon, early afternoon, and then it's out of here. Okay. Let's see. Melissa says flying out of Chicago to Tampa midweek, looking clear. There's going to be a couple systems around, Melissa. I don't say anything too impactful. I'm not expecting a major winter storm or anything like that. So you should be okay. I don't really see anything that would impact that. Ooh, Laura says pretty ugly for 11 a.m. outdoor soccer camp at Purdue Northwest. Ugh. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, Laura. It really is. Conditions will be improving throughout that soccer match, so that's good. Just kind of bear with it. It's good. Vicky, you're welcome. Dave, thank you. Have a great weekend to you. Rob says any days will be a washout after this weekend. Rob, we'll talk about that on our traditionally scheduled Region Weather Live on Sunday night. Is that a tease or what? There are a couple options. There's a bigger storm system comes in later next week that looks to have some rain and wind and maybe some storms with it and another temp drop. But again, we'll talk about that on Sunday. Nothing over the weekend. Yeah, Fred. Yeah, the wave heights on Lake Michigan. Perch fishing is going on. Yeah, Fred, good luck this weekend. Be careful in those bigger waves. Angie, I don't really see thunder as a chance. Okay. I've got some cold drippage going on. That's great. So before I start coughing, I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. Okay. Have a great weekend. I'm going to get some water. I'll talk to you soon.